Could I interest you in any water? Room temper cold?
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god, you're presenting it like you work here.
Well, you need something to swallow down your magnesium
that
pills.
You bought over a year ago?
I have a whole bunch of them. I love them.
But what do you mean by that?
So I don't know if this is the one that I bought you a year ago, but like I've always had one and I've like keep replenishing.
Well, that's not what you said on chart. It's fine.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's not what you said. I just watched the episode. It's not what you said.
So I have lots of these.
I know, but you...
And what I'm saying is, when I'm down to only one left or two left, I know this doesn't exist. This is like my cryptocurrency. If I lose it, what was it? Okay? So then I buy more and I replace, and then I put them all together. But I'm not going to let the one sit on the shelf for a year and a half, so I bring it to the front and keep replacing.
So you always leave one there knowing it's for
I always
me.
have one for when I remember and you're here, I have one for you. But I'm not going to give you an old one. I'm going to put it... Yeah, so I'm the best.
Wow.
Second best, because this Mega Magnesium, I'm telling you, I poop like I'm Christian now. Hi, sweet boy.
Wow, wait. You showed up to impress me today.
I showed up, Esther. You just have your eyes open for once. I'm always going to impress you. Is that what you're going to look like?
Is that, what do we think?
Yeah, I guess. Brent, Mom, Dad, will you come here for 1 sec? Thank you so much for this. This is fun. Brent just wanted the piano. Yeah. I just need 60 seconds. This episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. Is that royalty free? Well, I got good news. This might not be royalty free, but you could save 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/TYSO today. Rediscover your curiosity with Betterhelp. Just the last line. Brent, for real, I'm not going to use that.
That's Betterhelp. HELP.com/TYSO.
Yes. Hi, bud. Are you here excited to tell people about my stand-up shows? I bet you are. Goblins, Boppers, it's your boy Rick Glassman, and I am setting up a tour for 2025. But before 2025 comes, I got some shows in the States I want to tell you about. DC Improv, not this weekend, but next weekend, September 28th. I will be in Texas for a few shows, starting November 6th at the Addison/Dallas Improv. The next day in Houston, November 7th at the Improv. And then November 8th, I'm doing a couple of shows in Austin, Texas at Creek in the Cave. The following weekend, November 15th and 16th, I will be in Seattle, Washington at Laughs Comedy Club. If you want to get tickets, go to punchup.live/Rick Glassman. Here's the thing. I'm also collecting email addresses and the cities you're in. There will be no spam sent. I'm just figuring out which city should I go to, and I could let you know about it. If you're interested in seeing what cities I'm going to be in next year, as well as hoping maybe I'll come to your city, it would be advantageous if you go to the website punchup.live/Rick Glassman. Sign up for the mailing list. Just give me your email and what city you're in so I could see, I don't know, where I'm wanted. Right, Alvin? Thank you so much for paying attention to this podcast, wanting to see my stand-up, and for barreling through the rest of this bullshit episode with Esther. I'm sorry. I tried as best as I could. I really did. Psych. It's a great episode.
What time of day do you take your magnesium?
Right before bed.
Okay.
All right, let me see where you're going to be.
Me?
No. Marvin.
Gulp, 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 gulp. I like that meme.
Yeah. Thanks. You look really good.
Okay, thank you. Honestly, I do. For having just had a baby?
Yeah. Well, technically the baby gives you more, you have more stem cells, and you should have
No, the
more.
baby takes your cells.
Yeah, but you also take some of the baby cells.
I don't think...
Oh, yeah. A mother has her baby cells in her body for at least 20 years.
No, I know that, but...
Oh.
That's not...
Okay. Theme music!
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah!
All right. Oh, do you want some water?
Yeah, I'll take it in this cup.
You want the glass bottle in the plastic cup?
It's not plastic. It's actually sugar cane. Pour it.
Okay. Forgot that you don't drink water unless you add sugar to it. That'll get you through the week. Theme music again!
Scoot doo.
Are you drinking caffeine?
Well, I am, but not today. Why?
I'm really into... Have you guys worked with Magic Mind at all? Do you know those drinks?
No.
I'll show you. I'm telling you, full disclosure, I've been talking about it on a lot of podcasts recently. I take them before every pod now.
What is it?
I'll show you.
He's gotta be the salesman.
Not gonna show you.
No, I want to see, please.
Not gonna show you.
Please, I want to see.
I know.
I want to see.
Nope.
What is it? I've heard of it.
Great.
What is it?
You'll have to look it up now. Doesn't feel good to be a little bitch and not get called out, does it?
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
I'll tell you, I had one of those things, and I feel really good now.
What
So
was
good
it?
that I'm willing to do this.
What does it make you feel?
Don't need to sell.
Is it caffeine?
Push it on the hat.
Is it caffeine?
Yeah, it's caffeine, but you're not gonna like it because it's all natural. Most of the caffeine probably comes from matcha and a little added extra caffeine, and it doesn't really get you high. I haven't had coffee since December.
You haven't? Why
And
not?
look how good I look. I'm only 27.
Why haven't you had coffee?
I did a cleanse. I didn't do coffee for 10 days, and then I
Like
didn't do
a cleanse or a cleanse from caffeine?
cleanse.
What cleanse did you do?
I don't know if it has a name.
What were you cleansing from?
It was like a reset, a gut reset.
Okay.
And throw up a thumbnail. And I went a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm like, let me do this for a little bit. And then I went long enough where I'm like, I don't think I want to have coffee. When I really want to get ripped up, I have a little bit of black tea or a chai. It looks like you need some caffeine. We don't have to do this. You were just dozing off.
No, I'm good. This is it. This is it.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah. This is it. How was Pilates?
It was.
Did you get a good nap? Fuck. I could hear you.
Oh,
Whatever.
I could go. Should I go?
You could go in 8 hours if you take 5 of those magnesiums.
Honestly, this is I've never noticed how comfortable this couch is.
Very comfortable. Keep your hands off of the... Alvin, come here, bub. Hi, sweetheart.
No, this is for the fans.
Yeah.
This is for the fans. I'm here today for the fans. I'm not promoting anything. I'm not on tour.
Finally.
This is it's just you and me.
Yeah. And how was Pilates early? Esther, are you working out because of your body, like to feel good or to look good?
I'm actually working out because I need to add strength to my body because I'm so weak.
I've been telling you this for a while.
Have you?
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking it.
Oh. It's not about looks. It's about like taking care of a baby is so hard and I need to add muscle.
Now you know how Dave feels. Because you're a baby. He's been taking care of you for a decade.
Oh, I wish.
You don't think he has been? I bet he'll tell you that he has been.
No, he has been. You're right. But like, I feel I could always seek more baby-like care for myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be enough.
Isn't that sad?
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure you can relate.
That it's never going to be enough?
Well, you go home a lot. Is that to be treated like a baby?
No.
Then what is it?
I treat my parents like babies when I go home. Don't touch that. Wash your hands. I'll get the food.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they not germ friendly? Like, are they too germ loose for you?
Well, if I answer that simply, it's going to make them sound dirtier than they are. They're just regular people.
Mm-hmm.
But that's gross. My mom wets her hands. She doesn't wash them.
Oh.
She'll tell you otherwise, but I hear the time between flush and the door opening.
Do you feel that we're over, because you are a germ guy, but
Thank you.
I believe,
And you're a dirty girl.
I believe we're over bathing as a country. We're over cleansing our bodies.
Well, you only bathe twice a week.
I could never simplify it like that. Last week I showered twice, but that's 1 week. Those are the first showers.
I am into not showering all the time.
Let's talk, because that's obviously different from your germophobiness.
Well, I don't have a germophobiness. It's not that logical. I just have rules that I've picked up along the journey of life. And I'm like, all right, I'll just touch that twice every time I touch it. Or I can't sit there after this. I've just like picked up these.
Oh, really? So isn't that considered OCD?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have like a bedtime routine? Like where you have to turn the lights like a few times?
I don't have as many. I don't have the same kind of rituals I did when I was a kid. I used to take my socks on. It would take me 5 minutes to put my socks on in the morning. Like there was so
Were you
many.
late to school?
Yeah. Oh, my mom took me to school almost every day. I missed the bus because I had stomach aches.
I see why it's easy for us to spend time together. Well, it's not easy, but it's...
I only spend time with you if I'm monetizing it. I like to keep it that way. So bathing, I shower if I feel dirty or if I feel like I need an energy shift.
What makes you feel dirty?
If I worked out.
Do you have to sweat or what? Because I work out, I don't sweat. So I'm like, there's no way I'm showering.
So if I work out at home, first of all, start sweating. Like get your heart rate up.
I don't know how to sweat.
It's literally an intuitive feature that just kind of happens.
It doesn't happen for me.
Do you get your heart rate up? Because you might have a glandular issue, really. There might be a problem.
Well, do you know what a gland is?
Oh, you getting the opportunity to guest host Jimmy Kimmel, and the only advice you got was challenge your guests, and you were doing it for a week, and it's now Thursday, and it hasn't happened yet, and now finally it just kicks in, and then also then we snapped to reality and realized the first guest said glandular, and then it wasn't until the next guest where you're like, do you even know what gland is? And you missed it. Is that funny?
You got me.
So sweating, like even when you get like a fever, sometimes it's nice when you start.
I always think I have a fever and I never do. Do you have that? I have.
We'll get back to all the other stuff later.
Okay. No, keep going. Sorry.
I don't always think I have a fever. No.
Oh, but whenever I check, I also never I don't get too hot.
Yeah.
But like, I do struggle with sweat. I think I know a lot of people that sweat easily. For me, it's just too hard, so I don't do it.
Right. Well, exercise is tough.
I actually
by design
exercise. I take like hour walks almost every day.
That's great, Grandma. But you need to actually get your heart rate up, and we need to our bone density needs to get stronger by muscle stuff, lifting heavy weights. Yeah. Now listen, I should talk, although I'm getting back into it. I had some injuries, but we want to get your heart rate up. But to me, sweating isn't dirty. It is, kind of, depends. Like,
it's kind of not.
It depends. I mean, with the food you eat, it probably is. But I feel
I eat pretty good. I feel like you would be jealous of my meals.
Oh, I just picture you eating Taco Bell all the time. Am I wrong?
Since the last few months, I've been doing like things differently. I know it does not show on my skin or my body.
Your skin looks good.
I think lack of sleep, you really see how sleep is a key to a lot of things.
That's why I always go to helixmattress.com/TYSO to get up to 25% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows, because I get such a good night's sleep on it.
Where were you all morning when you weren't responding to my text? Were you sleeping?
I didn't respond to your text.
Yeah, because you texted me at 10:30 last night. I didn't see it until like 11 a.m. today. And then when I wrote...
What are you saying? Did I take too long to respond?
I was just curious if you sleep in late with your phone off.
Not that late. I do have my phone off. You texted address. Yeah. And I just didn't write you back, I guess. And then I wrote you right when you said you were going to Pilates. I think because that was like, what?
Oh.
So sweat, kind of dirty, but going to the gym is really dirty to me.
Why? Because of the other things you touched?
Other people. Yeah.
What's that?
I got it originally for like to rehab my shoulder, and you could do like different things. But And when I shower, I shampoo once, twice a week. So if I shower multiple times a week, I won't shampoo every time.
You get your hair wet?
Oh yeah, I condition every time I shower.
That's something like that's crazy. I stopped using conditioner 3 years ago.
Yeah, people have been writing in.
Yeah, what do they say, that my hair looks less greasy and it's better?
How did you turn that on me? I also sometimes don't soap on purpose, not because I don't want to. I'll sometimes like I showered yesterday. I didn't get dirty. I showered again because I often shower before a podcast to get my hair wet so I could style it, and then I keep a hat on for the first half. But I showered today. No, I did use soap, but I don't always. Sometimes I don't want to keep soaping my body. I want to
have your own
bacteria. I don't know if I'd call it bacteria.
But it is bacteria.
We're all bacteria. I just don't call it that.
But it's like we have to embrace that bacteria is a good word.
You've been pushing this for a long time
because
of your breath.
Bacteria is a positive. And when we wash too much, I was watching this thing, especially post-COVID, we're all sanitizing, washing so hardcore. That's
why I don't do it as much for immune
We're
system.
killing our bacterias.
Well, listen,
our bacteria, that's us. It's part of us.
We are the universe to the bacteria.
Yeah, and they're our babies.
Yeah.
So,
but there's good bacteria and bad bacteria, just like there's good and bad babies. Spoiler alert, not really, but kind of. Do you watch House of Dragon, Aegon? So basically, you love bacteria, you don't want to shower much, you started drinking water, and you haven't had Taco Bell too much recently. I think things are going good for you.
I haven't seen much positive benefit, but I am at least taking the steps.
Rick,
okay.
What were you going to ask?
Do you take supplements?
Yeah.
What do you take?
I take a fish oil. I take sea moss. I take creatine. I take collagen protein. 5 milligrams of creatine. Very little.
I'm bored.
Okay.
And I'm hot. It's too hot in here.
Take off your shirt. Do you want me to put the AC lower?
What do you mean by that?
If you had to just guess.
Well, I don't get that because lower would mean less AC, in my personal opinion.
Oh, you thought I meant lower the speed of the fan as opposed to the temperature?
Yeah.
You lower the temperature, that makes it colder.
But you say lower the AC, that means less AC.
No. Did you know that air conditioning, if you put it at 64 or if you put it at 70, and let's say it's 74 in the place, the air that's coming out isn't colder. 74 degree air isn't colder than 70 degree air.
I know. That's why it's weird.
So when you bring it lower, the only possible thing I could be lowering isn't the speed, it's the temperature.
It's not the temperature based on what you just said, because
what else could I lower?
You're lowering the amount.
What's the amount? The amounts are the same.
The amounts are not the same. The only thing that's different are the amounts.
If I make the air conditioning 50 degrees or 60 degrees, the amount of cold air is the same.
No.
It just stops once it hits that temperature.
The amount of cold air, the temperature of the air is the same. Therefore,
and the speed is the same.
Therefore, it cannot be lowered. There can only be more air or less air. It's all the same air.
More or less. It's not more or less. It's how long it goes for.
That's more or less. If it goes for long, it's more.
Yes. And how do you get the air conditioning to go longer? What do? You
add more air.
You're not adding. The only dial is temperature. Do you want to bring the temperature down or the temperature up?
I understand that.
So what do I want to bring the temperature? Do I want to bring the temperature up? Are you hot? Do you want me to bring the temperature up?
I want more air.
So what should I do to the thermostat? Which button should I push? Down or up?
Whatever button your thermostat does
what
to add more air.
Say? Do you bring it down or up?
I just know that when it goes blue, the air goes on, and when I want it off, it goes black.
And how do you get it to go blue?
I turn the dial.
Which way?
What does it matter?
Esther, baby, boobala, which way do you turn the dial, up or down?
If I want more air.
If you want it to get colder.
I turn the dial to the left.
Right, where the temperature goes which way.
It goes down. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's what the system says. But you yourself would agree that the system is totally made up arbitrary because, I'm going to turn it to 70.
It's not arbitrary. There is no cold.
It's 75. I'm turning it to 72. Oh, is the air colder? No. Like you said, the air is the same. We're just going to get more air. So we're turning the air up.
Esther, pretend none of this happened. Okay? Because you're I would say your worst enemy, but everyone hates you. But you are an enemy of yourself. Pretend none of that happened.
Okay.
We edit all that out. Mm-hmm. Now, really, if this is for $1 million,
okay,
and someone were to say, have an open mind. You have your mind made up already.
Be myself? Can I be myself? Or
you are yourself.
Okay.
And we're on a game show.
Okay.
Okay. And for $1 million, you could make arguments to make yourself believe certain things or to be like, oh, this is why I felt this way. But if it's just those two choices, Brian is at home alone. It's summertime. He's hot. He wants to be colder. Should he turn the air conditioning down or should he turn the air conditioning up? $1 million. Now picture this. When you're turning it, or not everybody has the fancy you turn it. Most of people still it's up, down. To make down is colder, up is hotter.
Okay, well, should he turn the air down or up? Well,
to make himself colder.
In my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, what situation is Brian in? Is he in a thing with a Nest? Is he in a thing with a fan on the floor? Because the fan on the floor...
It's not a fan on the floor. We're not talking about a fan on the floor because that up is faster. That goes by speed. More. Air conditioning goes by how long you're putting it on for.
Well, there could be
Here you go.
A unit, not a fan, but a AC unit.
$10, 10 seconds, $1 million.
He wants more air. He should turn the air up.
Unfortunately, you just lost $1 million. I'm going to go turn the AC down. I'll be right back.
Well, I just kicked on.
Yeah, but it'll kick off again soon.
Okay. Were you hot?
I'm perfect.
How could I be hot, but you're not?
I think I know the answer.
What? Alvin.
Your body works bad. No, maybe because you just came from exercise? Or
like I said,
people?
It's barely exercise. It's just
How
sort of
cute is
being
he?
babied by a pretty girl.
Oh.
Hello. Hello. Oh, I love that puppy breath. Oh, you are a sweetie pie.
Oh, bless you. I've been getting some comments that I'm loving my dog too much and it's getting in the way of the guest. Cut to me with Barack Obama ignoring him and just going, who's your little boy? You know, but like, I'm obsessed with this guy.
I think that you and I are very similar in that we love our little ones and it gets in the way of other things and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, did you have a little burpee? Oh, you're following your daddy. Aw.
If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll certainly find them.
How many pills do you take a night?
The serving I think says 3,
Yeah.
but I take 5.
Really?
And I've been doing it for over a year and I
Really,
get
big boy.
my blood checked all the time. I'm there. And my magnesium levels are great and they're not too high.
You take it every day?
Mm-hmm.
Alvin.
I take it every night.
We have a joke in our household that Donut is always trying to eat Ace, the baby.
Uh-huh.
Because I thought like when Ace was just like a little embryo, because Donut likes meats, and like protein.
Yeah.
And I was picturing the embryo as something that like Donut would just lick up on the floor by accident.
Maybe if it fell out.
Yeah. So we were joking about that. And then now that Ace is a baby, we're always like, if she's on the floor, Donut's going to get some barbecue sauce and eat her.
Oh, I like that. Do you talk about that on stage?
No, it's not like a joke for the public.
Do you want me to edit it out?
It's fine for these few people.
Yeah. Oh, burn me. Hey, Alvin.
It's not a burn at you. It's a burn at both of us.
Alvin, come here.
Wait, now I want Alvin.
Call him over. He likes
Alvin.
you. Here's a little trick.
Call him by your cousin's name.
Say my cat's name.
Yeah. His cousin.
Yeah.
His uncle.
Cousin.
What's the cousin's name?
Rhymes with. I think he'll. Could you say that? Yeah. Yeah, say it like you're calling. Like,
How is that a name of a cat?
I'll explain in a second, but look over there and then say it a couple times and say, come here. You know, like
I feel like I'm going to say it and it's going to sound like I said something like
Esther.
dirty.
No, it's the cat's
How
name.
is that really the name?
I'll explain it. You want me to explain it first because you're so
Yeah.
untrusting?
Yeah.
I just don't want to say the word and ruin it.
Okay.
But get excited. No, don't be so insecure. See? Do it. Is it, come here.
Come here.
Yeah. Oh, he gets jealous. Isn't that so cute?
You're such a baby.
So to around is British to like putz around, to like, we're going to be late. You keep like, all right, we got to go. Oh, hold on. Let me find my phone and like my
Now
keys.
you don't say it because then he'll come to you.
But that's what the word means. And
So you guys are a Jewish family that's not allergic to cats?
yeah, we grew up with cats.
Wow.
Or I know Jews have allergies. I didn't know that cats was a thing. Hey, Alvin, cut it out.
It's okay.
So what I'm trying to get him to not do is lick for licking's sake.
Why?
Because when I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I'm just hearing my dad eating next to me in bed, I'm like, I can't have that. So if you need to be doing it, I'll allow it. But
How do you control that?
he knows now. I started doing it by when he was doing it, I would just like touch the top of his head and say no licks. And then he would stop. And now I don't have to touch the top of his head anymore.
I love the sound of licks.
Sometimes I do.
And even if sometimes I will be asleep, I'll just fall asleep and then it's right in your ear.
And you like that?
I still like it. Also, since the baby, because the baby will wake us up at night, I feel like Donut has now seen that that's an option to her.
What,
And so,
licking?
No, waking up and us up in the middle of the night to have her needs met. So now Donut is doing this whole new thing where like she wakes up in the middle of the night, needs a drink of water.
Yeah, no good. You were talking about we need our sleep.
I know.
I am a different person when someone's trying to wake me up.
I know. It's so unfair. I wish I could get by on less sleep. It's really hard. I don't want to sleep. It's scary to sleep.
Why are you scared to sleep? That's funny.
It's so scary.
Because like you're just so out of control.
You're going unconscious. It's scary. What do you think about when you're falling asleep? Are you thinking it, or are you going to share?
I mean, I usually am. This is gonna. I don't know if you can take this as a compliment or as an insult, but sometimes I just could fall asleep, but if I can't, I usually pull up to your stand-up or something.
You think that's an insult? It's not.
We got to get your numbers up, or as you would say, down. Hi, my love. Oh man, So I was visiting my family, and we have where I sleep, we have blackout curtains. So he just stays asleep until he doesn't wake me up to go to the bathroom. Just when I wake up, he'll get up. And when I got back here, I noticed that he's waking up earlier now. And my curtains here are not, it gets brighter in my room. And
it's really hard to get true blackout curtains.
they literally make curtains that are called blackout curtains.
No, I know. And then I've gotten them and it's never fully blacked out.
Oh, I haven't had a problem with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I like is my old place had them. I don't have them now because I am not getting blackout curtains in my room on purpose because I'll just sleep until 1. But
interesting. I thought that I had that approach, but now I'm like, no, I wish we had blackout curtains.
well, I could help you out.
Where do you get them?
Well, anywhere. But what's cool is to get the curtain rods that have the double rods, and you put the blackout curtains on the inside, and then you can still have nice sheer ones if you want to have privacy, but not completely black. But I also have been seeing this thing on Instagram, these things that you can install, the hotel style.
Oh, yeah.
But what I discovered with him was, so now I'm waking up earlier and I have to take him out, but he doesn't feel like he needs to go potty. And what I learned was, I think he's just getting up with the sun. So he'll wake me up when the sun gets up. And then we got it where I don't even do anything. I just lift my covers up like this, and I'll go under the covers where it's dark, and he'll just snuggle with me, and he'll stay there. And let me tell you something. I sometimes wake up. I could cry. I sometimes wake up, like I'm sleeping here. I sleep on my back, and I'll sometimes wake up, and he is right here in between my arm. Okay, like his feet are here, and my armpit, his head is here. Okay, he's here, but he's not just in a ball. He'll have his chin rested right here. Ugh. Okay, so I could feel the perfect weight of a little cute head on my shoulder. And then I'll go like this and look, and he's like this. He's just looking at me. And if I'll pet him, he'll go back to sleep. And I lay in bed like this with my mouth open. I can't believe it.
I feel the same way with Donut. Like, I always think to myself that I've had so many dreams come true. I've found the love of my life. I've like done all these things that are so wonderful. I've had my own baby, but my truest dream come true is having Donut. Like, she is my small little fluffy best friend. The way she'll sit on my lap, cuddle me. Like, I wanted that. I longed for that my whole life. That was something I always wanted. And that's her. And even now after having the baby, I still love her like as much as my own child. I just, the parent-dog relationship is sacred.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I feel sometimes I have her sleep in the arm crevice there. Skin to skin is one of my favorite things to do with my dog.
Interesting.
Yeah. Feeling her little fur on my skin.
This episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. Right, Mom and Dad?
Mom, sometimes you get a little bit anxious.
I'm just a little confused how knowing I took an edible, you want me to explain anything logically. But I'll try.
You have a little food on your lip.
Do I? A little food? A little pretzel?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I need a little help. When you take an edible,
Don't forget the edibles.
but when you get Betterhelp and you can talk to somebody, then you pour it all out. It cleanses your soul. You feel so much better.
Sounds like you're comparing therapy to taking a dump.
No, I'm not.
You were saying it clears you out.
It clears you out.
Cleanses you.
It cleanses your soul. A bowel movement does not cleanse my soul.
Excuse me.
All right.
Therapy is important, not just because you have somebody to talk to, but you also have somebody who can listen and offer non-biased information. Some people don't want to go to therapy because, oh, I'm a big, strong man. Dad, what do you have to say to big, strong men? Little pigs get petted. Big pigs get slaughtered. That's right. Mom, do you have anything else?
And I have to be honest with you, it took me 68 years to decide that I needed a little help.
Yes, and we thank therapy for that.
for her now.
Funny stuff. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/TYSO to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TYSO for 10% off your first month. I get it. I now have this, but
He's perfect. How did you find
he's
him?
perfect.
How'd you?
I've been wanting a dog for years. My ex has a dog who, once I met him, I was just like, I was obsessed. That's how I knew, like, how I got it, because even though he was her dog, I loved this dog so much. And also the way she was with him was so like perfect. And I'm like, and also that dog was a half Chihuahua. And that's what got me into wanting a half Chihuahua. Since then, I've met a few half Chihuahuas. You know, full Chihuahuas, they act a fool. But a half Chihuahua.
Donut has like an 8th Chihuahua.
Who does?
Donut.
It's probably good. So I've been looking around, and it's a long story. I don't want to tell it now, but the very short version is I was supposed to get this dog, and I was unable to because the shelter made a mistake with something, and I couldn't get this dog, and I wanted it for a week. Did I never tell you about the story?
No, but I've been through this where it's heartbreaking.
It wasn't available yet, and I kept checking in, and then they accidentally gave it to someone the day before, but then they said, oh, he's not available till tomorrow. I came that next tomorrow, and I had already been looking at this dog for a week, and they're like, I'm sorry, we made a mistake. We said this woman could have it, so we're going to give it to her. I'm like, but you said I could too. Also, the kind of like part of the decision for this was I found an injured squirrel, and I brought it to this rescue. And when I brought the squirrel in is when I met this dog. So I thought like this squirrel
introduced you to the
dog.
dog.
Like there was a, like, not that I need a reason to help a squirrel, but like I made one. Like, oh, this squirrel brought me to a dog. So then when I didn't get the dog, I was like, I really wanted this dog. I also felt like it was meant to be, like the squirrel brought me here. So I'm like, so my head space was, I need a dog. Like that was like, I'm ready now. The squirrel made me ready. That's why I named him Alvin, because it's kind of like a squirrel name.
Oh,
it's a chipmunk.
Is, yeah.
So then I go to this place that I go to once or twice a month for
years. Do you
years.
think I look like a chipmunk?
No. I don't mean, I guess it's mean. Never mind.
What?
Chipmunks are really cute.
I'm cute.
I don't think you look like a chipmunk.
Okay.
I don't, now, as mean as that might be like, oh, chipmunks are cute and Esther isn't, what you look like to me, I don't mean it mean. You really have the face of a pig. You do. And
Do
there's
they
your
even have
scone.
good pastries though?
I haven't had their stuff. I don't know. But I went,
So I'm just like a test guinea pig to you, a little hamster.
I would just call you just a regular pig. But I think that, like if you go like this, like here, make your nose a pig nose. We'll do it.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, look at you. Even the
Pigs are so cute though.
they're so cute.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't mean it in a mean way.
When I was a baby, I really looked like a chipmunk.
And then you put on a little, you got a little taller.
Not really.
Come on, you look like a pig. You know you look like a pig. Pigs are very cute. I used to want a pet pig.
That's okay.
I don't eat pigs because I want one.
Yeah, I don't eat them either.
I would also probably want a cow. I've been struggling with that.
Really? Like, what's the struggle?
That I'm eating this thing that has feelings, that's smart, that's beautiful.
I know. It's hard because I used to be vegan, right? Because and it was so perfect because I thought it was the healthiest thing I could do and I was good for the animals. And then I feel now like it's not as healthy.
You being vegan?
Yeah. So now I'm not vegan anymore. But my dad has stayed vegan for the animals.
Yeah.
And my mom is vegan for like her health.
Nikki Glazer does it and she's hilarious. Maybe if you stopped eating meat. Maybe if we stopped eating meat.
We'd be more successful.
I know that we're not scientists.
Mark Maron is vegan too.
Oh, he's also, people don't know this, he's also 29 years old and he looks like that. So, we're not fact checking and people just say stuff on podcasts, but like, I don't want to condone the idea that being a vegan is unhealthy. I think that if you're going to be a vegan, you have to go out of your way to like find the things that your body needs.
You know what? You are so correct. I truly believe it's like all the research of everything, whether it's food, medicine, exercise, anything to do with health, longevity, like it's all always changing and you just sort of have to use your best judgment to guess what's right. Like I have no idea. And even looking at research, I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, that's why you try stuff.
Yeah.
Like everybody, like some people could get away with maybe not eating meat. Some people could get away with just eating fish, or some people get away with eating only meat. Although that carnivore diet's so weird to me because
how do you shit?
Magnesium. Your body probably gets used to it. To me, what's so weird about it is, one, this idea that vegetables are bad.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's really hard to
because we've
swallow
been eating
that.
them for a long time and we've been doing all right.
Yeah.
And also, your cholesterol levels have to go through the roof.
Ugh, that's such a...
So like...
I have high cholesterol. I just found out.
We're getting older.
Do you have high cholesterol?
No, but like, I think so, but my doctor says no. I'm still in the levels to where it's okay, but it's elevated to I don't remember what it is. It's
Mine's
like
high.
low 100s, I think.
Do I need to be freaked out?
I made, for multiple reasons, I don't eat, I make sure I have a few days a week with no meat.
Mm-hmm.
I eat treats. I shouldn't. I eat treats, but I try to like.
But I think it's genetic.
It's genetic, it's diet, it's age. But like there are things to stay away from. I try and limit my fried foods, my sugars, and my red meat, but I still eat them.
Yeah.
Like I'll have a fry day. Like I can't have, oh, I'm getting something, I want some fries.
Everyone has a Friday. It's
I don't
day
mean
of the week.
FRI. Like a day where I'm eating fries.
FRI.
FRY. Where you go to the electronics store. Like there'll be times where it's like, ooh, there's fries on the menu and I want them. But like I go like, do I need them? Because I do need fries often.
Who doesn't look at fries on the menu and has to say, do I need them? That's like
I never did. I was just, there's fries. Of course, give me fries.
That's like, see, being a girl, we have different experiences there.
You ate Taco Bell like it was water.
Yes, but I knew to say, do I really need this? And just because the answer was no and I still had it didn't mean I didn't go through that experience all the time.
To me, there was a point in my life. I used to eat fast food all the time. I never thought about it. Then I would limit my fast food.
I'm scared my cholesterol is higher than yours.
It probably is.
not real. I'm kind of skinny.
Okay, here's what people don't understand about heart disease. First of all, you're not going to feel it until
It's
there's a
too late.
problem. Second of all, your cardiovascular health isn't just what you eat. It's getting your heart rate up. You don't sweat. You're not exercising. You're going to watch people exercise, according to what you say. I don't know what you do. But like, get your heart rate up.
Yeah. You think that helps cholesterol?
I think that helps your heart health.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the science enough about how much, but like exercise, I have to imagine any ailment that you have, exercise, there's a good chance will help it. Stress on the body means adapting. It means cell turnover. It means healing. It means stronger muscles, stronger bones, less fat, better heart health. It's just vegan or not, here's the science. Lift heavy weights.
Why does life have to keep getting harder?
You know, we talked about something on the phone the other day. Can we talk about this conversation?
Yeah. You were saying that you've been secretly in love with me for 10 years and
edit that out. Well, instead of putting words in your mouth, will you tell me at least what inspired the call? Because there's a reason I'm bringing it up. It's about the things are being hard. I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so I was driving to the Comedy Store to do a set, and I go to myself, 3 sets ago, it was really good. But the last 2, I didn't find it. I didn't tap into that, what I had 3 sets ago. And I was like, maybe, because I felt like the last time we talked about it, you had made a lot of sense as to how to tap into that where it's good. And so I was like, let me call him because maybe he'll get me. Because when you say things, usually I'm like, yeah, that. And so I called you for kind of like a preset pep talk, I would say.
PSPT.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things
Which I'm very nervous to call people because it was like a Friday night and I'm like, people gonna like
FRY?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, look at me calling and then be like, what? I don't know. That's what I picture. Someone sees my phone name on their phone, they go, what?
It still comes up as Comedy Store when you call me because
that I work there.
Yeah. So I thought they were calling for my avails. Just joking. They don't ask me for them.
They don't do it by phone anymore.
Oh well, I'm not part of that world. So, but then like we were talking for a little bit and there was some stuff and I remember you said something about, yeah, but that's hard or that's scary. Like you don't want to like do poorly in front of.
Yeah.
And like you seem to connect because we talked about like, we're at a place now to where we get sets, we get spots, we get paid. We're doing what we moved here to do.
Yeah.
And then
what you just said, what we moved here to do, I think so often recently, I'm ready to go home.
So like Illinois?
Yeah, like I moved here to do this and I'm like,
you feel like you did it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but I don't want to feel that way.
That's kind of like congruous to what we were saying because it's like, we moved here, we did this stuff, we got to a point where like everybody's status quo moves, right? So like you want this thing and then you're not thinking about wanting that anymore because you achieved it. And then you want this thing.
Yeah.
And that keeps going. And there's something good about not being satisfied completely because you want to keep your drive and motivation. But then also like to be aware and grateful and like of where you came from or like what you've accomplished and what you've done. So you don't forget not only like to enjoy where you are, but to remember how you got there. And if you're supposed to do all these things in order to get to a certain level, and now you're at that level and you stop doing those things, you're going to regress. And you're scared. You were talking about you were scared to try new jokes and do new things and take certain risks on stuff. And it's like, then why do this at all? Like this is hard by design. And just because now you get the spots to be like, all right, to keep them, I better just do what I think I'm supposed to do, as opposed to like being an artist and doing what's really hard.
Yes. And that is like, I think I said to you, like, I look at other comics, I'm like, go up there and fail, like do whatever you want, the time is for you. But then now all of a sudden I'm in this like mindset of lack where I'm like no, I have to like hit the few jokes that I know that will work. And it's really scary to be experimental, but you are right. That's, if I'm not doing that, then I'm like, why am I not just moving home? Why am I here?
For people listening, this isn't really even stand-up talk. It's just like, you know, what do they say about sharks? Move or die. Like, do stuff and like fail, not for the sake of failing, but for the sake of like, what if it doesn't?
Well, so you have to admit, and I'm like, you get to a certain place, right? And then now, let's say we're in our open mic year.
Sure.
I met you in 2009. We're doing open mics. There's nothing to lose. There's just you in that.
I disagree entirely. If you really go back to that mindset, then you're now, those open mics, you're performing in front of your peers who aren't even your friends yet. You don't want to look bad in front of them. You don't want to do an open mic at the comedy club where the booker's going to be there and you're going to make a bad first impression.
That's true.
There's always something to be scared about losing. But you're younger, you're more excited, you have different energy, you're motivated by the people next to you maybe doing stuff. That's why I think you become friends with who you do in your class, because you're attracted to them in some way. I want to do what they do, and or they appreciate what I do, and then you're kind of in it together. Then you move on to the next levels where it's like, we're got book spots, so we're not hanging out for hours. I'm going to see random people. Maybe they're my friends, maybe they're not. Even my friends are going to leave before or after. I'm kind of alone, and that's a new level of scared. And then you do that, and then you feel validated. You're funny enough, and it keeps going, but you can't stop. You can't stop being an artist. And I don't mean that in a pretentious sense. I don't mean that in even a good artist. I mean art as in like expressing yourself for yourself, allowing other people to see it and allowing them to see it however they want to without you controlling them and without you being afraid that they won't like it.
But do you agree that like now there is an added level of pressure where like, what if people are there to see me, where that wasn't the case 10, 15 years ago? 10,
15 years ago, it was my peers are going to see me. It's the same thing.
Okay. So you're saying there's no difference for you?
I'm saying that the psychology is the same. The psychology is the same of I'm scared because of blank. I think those variables change, but I think it's still the same reaction to fear. I think it's still, I don't want to because. I think that because changes. And we could validate the because being worth it or not. There are extenuating circumstances where it's like you're doing a late night spot or you're up for a role and the director is coming to watch and like, you get nervous, I understand that, but those never serve you in the same way. If I care about what like Benji and Santino are going to think about me at this open mic in 2010, that's not going to be better for me.
No.
If I care that like the director of, blah, blah, blah is coming to see me, that's not going to be better for me. If I care that these people bought tickets to see me and I don't want them to feel they wasted their money, that's never going to benefit us. So like, you have to make a choice. Am I going to do the safe thing, which is important sometimes? If you're filming a special, you want to be prepared for that special. You want to do what you're supposed to be doing. But in order to know what you're supposed to be doing, you have to be able to give yourself the opportunity to find what's best.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing that's to me the main difference about Esther Povitsky's show versus Esther Povitsky's on the show. And when you're like, we have a show tonight at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
15 minutes. I'll probably do 18 to 20 because,
I'll probably do 12 to 14.
I'm going to take some of yours. Thank you so much.
Then we work together
We'll talk to Greg about it. Say, Esther's going to do a little less. I'm going to do a little more. But like, go do whatever you want to do.
Why?
Why did you get into stand-up? And I also want to say this again because I know we're talking to each other, but like, I'm not against sometimes having stand-up talk, but like I think to the audience, this is broader than stand-up. This is just checking in with intention.
I agree.
Or why. So I kind of like, if you think, stand-up, I also want to think like, why are you doing whatever you're doing? But anyway, why did you start doing stand-up?
I think because I don't know why I started it, but why did I like it when I did it? I liked that I would just be expressive, say what I really felt and what I really thought, and that it would translate to people laughing. And I never really expected that or thought that that could be a thing. And then when it was, I was like, whoa. And that's what I love about it. But what I don't love is going on stage and like saying jokes that I know will get laughs, but I'm like not feeling them or something.
So the reason you got into it was you wanted to express yourself. And then the second part of that was, and get laughs from it.
Yeah.
I think there's something dangerous about making those things, connecting those things.
I know.
Ideally, people will enjoy what we do. That's up to them.
That's the end result, which you can't control.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of can. You kind of could look at what other people are doing. You know, like I think that like short social media content, like minute sketch stuff, is that they're seeing something that's a trend, and like, oh, I'll just do that thing, and then that could do well if you look at if well means certain numbers, but that doesn't mean you're like expressing yourself honestly and connecting with people. You're just doing something
to be funny.
I think the motivation for a lot of people is to get eyes on it.
But if it's funny,
it doesn't rise to the top on social media as much as reaction does. The algorithm does not go by what's funny. The algorithm goes by how long are people watching.
But certainly there are people who are in that system that are funny.
Yes.
Look at Trevor Wallace. He's so funny.
Absolutely. Trevor Wallace is very funny.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't also be funny, but what I'm saying, funny isn't what the algorithm rewards.
No.
The algorithm rewards
but
engagement.
Sometimes that happens.
If it's both engaging and funny, yes. But what I'm saying is the difference between stand-up and the algorithm is if you do a stand-up set, if you put your stand-up set, if you have a 15-minute set and you put it on Instagram, if people tune out after 20 seconds, less and less people are going to see it, right? But when you're on stage, there's less of a chance people are going to get up and leave after 20 seconds and swipe away.
How can you even compare the two? They're so different.
But that's what I'm saying. They are two different crafts, but I do notice that people are putting them together. People do stand up for the clip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People do crowd work for the clip, not for better or worse. I could argue either end of it. But what I'm saying is the intention of why people are doing stuff is more so than it ever used to be to get engagement somewhere else.
An end result? Or
yes.
Okay.
Sure. An end result that they can control. You could control. It's easier to control getting more views than it is to control somebody to connect with my point of view.
Yeah.
So the path of least resistance would be to less prioritize point of view and more so what they think is funny or what they think the audience wants. And that could be validated and rewarded in a way that to me it's not mutually exclusive to art, but it's not real.
This is so tough.
But it's so easy if you don't, at this moment, prioritize that second part of it. Also, go ahead.
It's so hard because I don't want to prioritize that, but that is really alluring and attractive and validating as an artist or someone who is expressing themselves or is creative or likes those things. Like I do want a good clip too.
Absolutely.
But maybe the fact that I want that is causing an issue.
Wanting it isn't. We talked about this on the phone before, but like the idea of not caring what people think is a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that's what a sociopath means, but it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I want everybody to think I'm funny and good.
Yeah.
However, that's not going to influence and affect my decision to go up there. So like,
you mean your decision of what you're going to do up there?
that's my decisions when I go up there. Yeah. Like if people don't like what I do, that's a bummer. I'm not like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I still care, but like not enough to then be like, okay, I'll do what they will like. Because the best versions of ourselves we could be is what we're supposed to figure out. Like the best version of me is, I don't know, I think I'm, as a comedian at least, I think I'm doing that right now. I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a ceiling, and if so, I hope I'm not close to it yet. But like my best version is being in touch with me, my point of view, my strengths, my weaknesses, and writing to a way where I could perform it to my best. And when I do that, the best version of me might not be as attractive. Everybody likes Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Everybody
he's so
likes
funny.
Mark Norman.
Yeah.
They are both very,
So
very funny.
Yeah.
There are probably people that are just as funny, funnier, a little less funny.
Shane Gillis's SNL monologue was so good.
His special is also so good.
I
don't remember the name of it,
no,
but
I can't remember.
he's so funny.
I know, it's crazy.
But he's also happens to be a type of funny for whatever reason that a lot of people like.
Non-Jewish.
I think Jews like him. I think he's hysterical.
No, I'm not saying Jews don't like him.
Oh, you're saying because they're not Jewish.
I'm just saying we're Jewish.
Yeah, Mark Norman's not Jewish, but if people like Mark Norman and they're anti-Semitic, and he's got a Jew thing about him.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
But like, Shane is a better example because I think his comedy isn't broad. Like his comedy isn't broad. His audience is like. There's a lot of people that like him, and that's great. The best version of Shane Gillis will attract a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think the best version, I'll speak for myself. I don't think the best version of me is going to be able to attract as many people as Shane.
Same. About you. No, I'm just kidding about myself.
And there's nothing I could do about that unless I
totally.
change. Instead of I'm the best version of me, I am something else that I try and do, which is not the best.
I have to interject. I do just inherently hate this concept of comparing, but I get what you're saying.
But I'm not comparing skill or strength. Not
no,
to say,
but just any.
I'm saying like you can't chase that. It's like maybe it's the opposite of comparing. I'm saying you can't chase having that kind of audience.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be doing something that's not the best version of yourself. I feel this way in social situations too. Like I want to show up as who I am, and I don't want to not be that.
Yeah.
The craft of that is, am I showing up in a way where I am getting in the, like, am I draining you? Am I stealing? Am I stepping on your energy? Am I not letting you have your space? But at a certain point, maybe we're just not compatible. And if I like who I am, and I really do, and I show up and it doesn't work with you,
what's the point?
What's the point? Unless you have to work together and then you figure out compromise.
Yeah.
I feel the same way on stage. Like if I go up there and if I like what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing up there. And if you don't connect to it, it sucks. But like this, I like this. I want to, maybe I'll change later, but I want to keep exploring this thing, right? So like when you're going up there and you're being like, I'm doing these jokes that I don't want to be doing. Why?
Well, it's not that, but it's more like, because the ones I am now only doing the ones I like, but you know what it is I'm feeling this hunger for new stuff, and I don't have it, and I'm not finding it, and that's making me resent the old stuff. But that's kind of irrelevant to what you're saying, so you can keep going.
Well, no, it's not. Doing this in X minutes takes away from X minutes of this that you could be doing.
Yeah, and I'm mad about it, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like you're dating somebody that you don't love. And it's like, I'm scared to leave them because like, I don't know what else is out there and it's good enough, but like, it doesn't feel honest to you. Like, I don't feel love for this person.
Like there's something building up.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Yeah.
So in a relationship, you have that conversation with the person. Why is this way?
Mm-hmm.
Can we figure stuff out? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But on stand-up, it's your fault entirely. You know, in a relationship, it takes both of us. I made mistakes, you made mistakes. We aren't compatible. Where can we compromise? How can we change stuff? Where is my perspective lacking in your intentions? Like, oh, that makes more. This is in a good way. It's all on you. If you're resentful, it's on you.
Yeah, the social analogy is very helpful to me because I can clearly see, we just won't hang out. if I'm me, we should just, and it's not good, we should just not hang out. So it's like, oh, those audience members just won't come back to see me. Like
and that was what I was saying about the Shane thing. Like if I opened up for Shane, everybody there wouldn't love me. Take the ones that do.
Yeah.
And then those people that like you, hopefully they like you for you, not for the thing that you manipulated them into thinking you were. And then as you grow, I remember talking years ago, Gerard Carmichael told me that one of the things he likes about Jay-Z and he thinks about his longevity is like, he keeps changing. And like, you can't keep, and I've always thought about that because like, when you look at any artist who's been going on for more than a decade, they're not doing the same thing anymore. And they shouldn't.
No, because I've looked at people in our business and you start to go, okay, at this point, it feels like you're doing a parody of yourself because it's the same thing. And I see and I feel for that because I know why that happens.
They're in a toxic relationship with their art.
Yes.
They're holding on to something that isn't honest anymore.
Yes.
Which might make you a living. And if your art is just to put food on the table, great. I did an episode with Tony Hinchcliffe, one of the first ones I did years ago. And it was really, people thought it was really contentious and like, but I can't speak for him. But I'll assume he felt similar to me, which was, no, we were just like doing this. Both of us were totally comfortable. We were disagreeing and it was fine. But one of the sticking points, which was, which who cares now? This was like 5 years ago. But then was him making fun that John DeWalt quit Standup and he's a quitter and he couldn't hack it.
So Tony.
Yeah. And like, yes, that's true. He quit because he's now like, him and Allison like have just sold a couple of movies.
Yeah.
And they're executive producers on TV shows. And
isn't that the goal for everyone?
Well, no. Tony was talking, Tony projected his goal onto John and Allison, but I get Tony's thing. And Tony has done since then, even like he's so well at what Tony wants to be doing. Tony wants to be doing this thing. And this is the only thing that's real. But to John and Allison, who now have 2 kids, they love comedy. They love art. They care about it a lot. And they're doing their own projects that they want to do. But at the same time, they want to put food on the table. And now they make good money doing this job. And it's like, when you're writing somebody else's show, I felt this way in this last sitcom I was on. I liked it. And I liked the people that was on it. But it felt like a job in a good way. I went, I did it. I didn't second guess anything. I showed up. I came home. And I didn't feel like, oh no.
Yes, it felt like a job. However, and
what is it?
A show, writing on a show, acting on a show.
But some shows you might feel like this is important to me in a different way. This is my.
Yeah, but I still think the shows and those jobs that feel like jobs are still not just jobs. They're still a really big part of the identity of having a successful career, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's be a true struggling artist or be a sellout. I think those two things are like two extremes and they can all be happening together.
I would go to work. Before I'd go to work, I'd look at my lines. I would make choices. I would think about stuff. And then I would go to work and we would rehearse it and we would do them. Sometimes it was really good. Sometimes it was whatever. And then like I would get in the car and I would drive home and I wouldn't think twice about it. Like Bob Dylan says, I felt like a job to me. I cared. But like there was when I did As We See, I did another show before.
I know, but it felt a different kind of job than if you worked at Bed Bath & Beyond.
I remember when I worked at Best Buy and I sold computers.
Yeah.
And I cared so much. And like I wanted, and we wrote down how many we sold and what we sold. Like I remember looking at it like it was a trophy. Like I wanted to be better than everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. I get it. Let's go back to.
So basically the thing with Tony was, I don't remember I don't remember what brought it up. But
he was saying, because we were talking about, people changing, Jay-Z, or some people will just stay and do the same thing.
Yeah, so if your goal is to just like work, not because work is your is your life, but because you like it, you have a good time, and then it helps you fulfill the rest of your life. Like if there's a comedian who, I don't want to say name because I thought of a few, but I don't want to make it up because then it'll be negative. But like, think of somebody that we grew up watching and they're still touring and they're doing the same act.
Yeah.
But they're making $300,000 a year. They like doing it. Great. Who cares? But if they're doing it and they're like, oh, I'm such a fucking phony, then it's like, that's where that conflict happens. I think you're in a position, like I said to you on the phone the other day, you're in a 2-income household. You are making money with the podcast, with stand-up, any acting jobs you get. You're not starving right now. You're more than getting by. And here's a weird thought, you've made it.
I just don't live like that.
I know, but
mentally,
because you're not, if you look at where you were during the open mic days, this was the goal. I don't know if you wanted to be Jennifer Lawrence, but I could have told you then, you don't got it. But like, you're making money. And you're doing what you want. You're here on a Monday afternoon. You go to Pilates and you could afford to go there even though you don't use the machines. You're set.
I'm not set though. But I know what you're saying, that this was the goal.
Right.
Do you relate to that?
Yes. But what I often remind myself is, and also I say this because this gives me the freedom to, I've always been very experimental.
Yes.
And I'm not as experimental as I used to be because that wasn't always the most efficient. But I didn't stop doing it. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm able to do it is because I'm an actor, I'm a comedian or a podcaster. Like, I make money. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about rent next month. Mm-hmm. So like, let me do whatever I want.
Wow.
And I say that with respect to the art form. Like, I don't mean like, yeah. But also, yeah, I want to do whatever I want to do. I feel that way in life too. Like, I don't feel good around these people. I don't want to be friends with them. Mm-hmm. I do feel good around these people. I want to be friends with them. I tell friends sometimes, like I'll reach out to somebody and they're busy. And then I'll like reach out again. And then I'll be like, I'll say things like, hey, I really want to be around you at some point. Like, which could feel very vulnerable. Like if this was like me trying to hit on a girl that clearly wasn't interested, it would maybe be harassment. But like, I know that my friends are busy, but like, I'm like, hey, figure out a time. I really need to be around. I want to laugh.
I think that's a really good skill that you have, because it's so easy, especially for me, to isolate and not seek the community and the friendship and the fun. But whenever I do that, life is better.
Same. It's easy for me to not do that too.
Yeah.
I've learned to that you have to do that. And what I'm saying is may benefit you to learn that you have to go up there and be that vulnerable thing. And not just be by yourself on stage and just make choices and be bad. I say this in the meanest way. You're going to be bad either way. Be bad with something that feels honest, you know? And also, like, there's so much to love about stand-up. And it's also so easy to hate it. I don't want to travel there. I don't want to do the same set. I'm already at home watching this show. I don't want to leave.
What about just the fear, the inherent, like, this I never thought of when I was younger, but now it comes up a little, like the inherent animalistic fear of
your tribe
public
leaving
speaking.
You? Yeah, well, then do something else.
No, I know. And I don't have that, but I'm just saying that's one of the little things that you're like, whoa, right now I'm on this couch relaxing with my loved one, whatever. I have to go stand in front of 400 people. Like, that's so psychotic.
But that's why you take your wins.
I'm safe here. Why would I go into unsafety?
And if you look at being
but I'm being so negative, and I want to acknowledge, like, I'm in a weird place of negativity and insecurity. I think it's like, took 5 months off having a baby. Like, I just I'm at that new place where I've been before and I've been okay. But
same.
It's like, I'm looking at the blank page and I'm like, there's nothing there. There will never be more there. That's how I'm scared, you know?
Well, there will be more there if you write stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
But you don't have to write good stuff. Yeah, write bad stuff.
Yeah.
And then trim it down and then write more bad stuff. And like, like, you know, comedians in cars getting coffee, they probably film hours and hours.
Do you know what your process is to have new material?
No. I know what my process is, and it encompasses a lot of things, and new material is part of it. It's almost like when you exercise, you can't target your belly fat. Like,
I know. It's
so like, I feel that way about this. Like, I know how to do stuff that does stuff, and maybe I'll get new material.
You're good at analogies.
I've been saying it forever, and that's not just a blanketed statement. I'm an analogies guy.
You are now, but before you thought you were getting too good or something, and they were bad.
Okay.
They're good now.
They've been, but okay.
I know the belly fat one.
The process is, and it makes it easier, even though it's harder to get better, but it's easier to make the decision to do it, which is also, most people that watch this a lot of people don't even know I do stand up. I have to say, people have been coming out to my shows now, and I've been getting messages, and I'm saying that I'm bragging right now. I just want to say that. I didn't know what to expect seeing your stand up. It's people of course they're going to say this to everybody, but they just say great things. I don't want to say the specific things, and then it's too braggadocious. But like, I'm really good at this now. I really am. And not as many people who think Shane will think so, but like anybody who will ever like me, they'll like me now. Mm-hmm. And what I figured out, at least this works for me, is the only thing I could do is do whatever I want. That's the only thing that makes me good at this. If I'm in a silly energy, I don't want to not be silly because I might annoy people. If I'm in a contemplative energy, I don't want to not kind of find my thoughts along with them because that's going to be boring.
Wait, but I feel like you're going on a brag tangent, and
the bragging was done.
But the thing about belly fat.
The bragging was almost to just say like, maybe this is bad advice, but it's working for me.
Okay.
What's working for me is the belly fat thing. What's working for me is to find new material and to feel confident and to be honest, which hopefully is going to be engaging and funny, but I can't control those two, is going up there and doing whatever I want. Because whatever I want will be honest, because I want to be honest. Mm-hmm. And if I'm silly, I'm not going to be muting myself for them. If I am sad or thoughtful, I'm not going to worry about talking too slow or being boring and not do what's on my mind. If I want to do my material that like is funny, I'm not going to not do it because, I should find new stuff today. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And the way
because I even do that, I'll be like, I shouldn't be doing the material because I should be doing new stuff.
If at a certain point you realize I've been not doing material a whole bunch, then you got to check in with like, why am I not? Am I afraid to do this stuff?
Do you mean like after multiple sets?
Yeah. Like if I get high, I love getting high on stage now. If I get high and I do 10 sets in a row where I'm just fucking around, edit that out, that yawn. I might have to check in with myself. Why am I not doing material?
Oh, okay. Why? Because
I got high and I just improvised again. If I ask myself that, if I want to do that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, why do I want to do a fully improvised set again today? I say that for me because I used to always do that. I used to do new sets every time.
I remember.
So like I found out my why. My why was I was scared of repeating material.
Why?
I thought I was going to get caught and that I was a liar. I thought that like, if somebody heard me do this, they're going to know I did it already.
I know that's hard to face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First 2 years of my podcast, every guest I had on who I looked up to or I thought was really great at stand-up, I would bring that up to them only because I needed to hear them say, you just have to do it. You just have to do it. And then like, I was like, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. But I can't lie to you. The funnest I have is going up there and just doing whatever I want. So I'm like, why don't I just do that all the time?
Yeah, that would be, I understand that.
It sounds to me that your biggest obstacle right now is you feel that whatever you want isn't good enough and you're insecure that you're not going to be good enough.
Yeah, it's that, or it's just that I'm like holding on to, I found it 3 times ago and now or 4 times ago now. Like,
but you didn't find it 3 times ago. You just had a good set. It's all it was. and the other 2 sets were just bad sets. It's like having sex, like not just like I remember when we were younger. I mean, we grew up watching American Pie, so I don't know if you felt the same way. But like you thought to be good at sex, you had to like know certain moves.
That's like a guy thing.
Guys would think that you have to do certain moves, you have to do certain things. How do you make the girl come or whatever? Like that was like the thing. And then as you get older, you realize that it's less about the certain moves and more about like the connection to that person. And like, do you want to be there? Does this person feel that you want to be doing this? Are you present with this person?
Oh.
Like, are you too insecure to say, will you do this? I don't like that. Do this. Are you too insecure to ask them what they like? Like, are you in your head or are you just fucking making love or fucking and just like feeling good and connected and kissing and
you're
doing
right,
whatever's
but
kinky to you and like not feeling insecure?
this analogy though of on stage to sex is so.
The analogy is, if you want to have good sex with someone, you don't think about my material better be great. I better do the right moves. You think about, I want to be present. I want to be here. I want them to believe I want to be here. I want to just like connect with these people. I think that's great.
But also it is a job. Sometimes it is a job.
Driving there is a job. Buying the plane ticket is a job. Being on stage when you don't want to be doing that second show is a job.
Yeah.
But like, I've said this on my podcast before because I love it. Dennis Rodman, it was a quote in the Last Dance documentary. He goes, they don't pay us for basketball. They pay us for everything else. And I'm like, I love that. Because you love basketball. If you don't like stand-up, stop doing it.
Right.
I would love for you to...
Quit.
I would love for you to I know you don't anymore, and this is maybe bad advice, but I would love for you to get a little stoned and go on stage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about once becoming a parent, it's like I can't be on this planet not fully.
I guess my dad was high every day in my life. Almost.
Like and there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just saying, so I don't share in that, but I understand.
Yes.
Your parents were alcoholics and they used to be mean to you.
They were completely sober our whole
the
ever since
opposite.
I was born. So that might be why I'm.
Yeah, you've never had a drink, but you did used to like weed.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that song, that Olivia Rodrigo song?
Olivia Rodrigo?
Olivia Rodrigo song, is it the driver's license one? And I drove by your house.
Yeah.
Great song. I think about you almost every time I hear that song, and I hear that song a lot. Because I remember, didn't you tell me you would drive by an ex's house all the time?
Yeah.
Was that in your weed days?
No, that was like since way long before. That's like been 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
How old are you? Oh, you don't talk about it, right?
I'm 36.
Oh, I thought you were in like high school. 15 years was 21.
Oh, more than 15 years.
What mindset does 21-year-old Esther or 16-year-old Esther have when like you would do those kinds of things? When you would go check up on Dave in Las Vegas? Like, what is that thing that like you feel you need to satisfy?
Well, that's Dave Las Vegas is different from Driving by X. So
what's Driving by X first?
It's like nostalgic, longing for something that you can't have, that isn't there. And like the excitement and thrill of like, what if you see someone in the window?
Right. Did you want to, was the fantasy you want to see him and then you end up talking again? Like to connect with him?
No, it's like the fantasy is seeing them, and it's like the thrill of hiding, not being seen. Like it's like a thrill sort of.
So like
vibe.
Voyeurism, like you're spying.
Well, I love spying, but there's no real voyeurism because I never saw anything.
But you were trying to.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that's completely different with Dave, because isn't that spying?
No, because that was doing a bit.
Oh, when we talked about it on our pod, it seemed like you were checking in on him.
Not really, no.
Okay.
I was doing a bit. I thought it was going to be funny, and I thought we would all hang out. Not all, but I thought
You thought he would leave his friends on the bachelor party and just hang out with you.
No, I mean, I made my own plans because I knew that really wouldn't happen, but I just thought it was funny. Like, surprise.
Okay. What are you insecure about in life outside of stand-up? Because you seem like you don't care about stuff.
Mean?
Like, if you didn't tell me some of the things you tell me, you would seem like somebody who doesn't have too many strong insecurities. But as I know you, I know that's not the case.
I think that I am in a very specific time frame of I went through a long sort of hard pregnancy and it broke me down. And then I came on the other side of it thinking life would go back to normal. And obviously life is much different because I have a baby and I'm just in this state of confusion because I want to be an amazing mom and this is like the age-old mother struggle. Like, and I also want to have creative fulfillment and have fun and earn a living. And I have never tried to do all of these things at once and both are hard and I don't know how it's going to shake out. So I'm nervous and insecure that I'm not going to find what I'm looking to find, which is a balance of those things.
Okay. You're trying to find a balance of those things.
I'm trying to make
I don't understand.
I'm trying to...
You're trying to be able to be home with your child, but also express yourself.
I am trying to get back on the horse of being a creative performer during this life where also many of my hours are dedicated to...
But aren't you doing that now? You're still doing shows all the time.
I am doing that now, but I'm not... It's not hitting. I'm not feeling it.
When you saw
But maybe I'm over... I might also just be completely overthinking this and it's like just something to talk about. I don't know.
The age-old mother thing of like, I want to be this, but also this, like you were saying, like that, the main obstacle to that is time management. The main obstacle is I want to be with the child, but I also want to have my job.
Yeah.
But for you, that isn't an obstacle. You could
Not
leave
as
for
much.
an hour.
Not as much. It's still, it's now at 5 months. I'm like, okay, I can go. But the first few months, it was very difficult to go out and do a set, even just for an hour. I am getting to a place now where this is probably, I think, the first podcast I've done that's not mine because we're just, I'm just doing a lot less. But yeah, I want to.
So don't sabotage that hour away from your kid by doing things that you don't want to be doing.
Yeah.
You know? Because it isn't just since you had a kid, maybe since you've been pregnant, but I remember when we were podcasting, when you were pregnant, even before you told me you were pregnant and you were saying these things.
Like what?
I don't know.
About stand-up?
About your stand-up, yeah.
Well, it's interesting though. Then
you were doing the movie.
I got it together and I felt like, because I
Drugstore June, available everywhere now.
I felt really good about my stand-up actually, like after the first trimester of my pregnancy, and like I feel like I got it together, and then it was taking the long break. Then when you take a long break and you go back and you look at the jokes, you're like, I don't really feel this anymore.
How do you look at your jokes? Like tape?
The notes or listen to the audio.
What notes? You take notes after your set?
The set list.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to seem like I'm just like whining and insecure all the time.
Yeah,
it is, but
we don't have to talk about it anymore.
But these are real feelings.
Yeah. I think.
Do you relate? Is this okay? I don't know.
Yeah. I relate to where like me going up there and doing what I want to do, and then people thinking I'm weird or that I'm not funny or whatever the negative thing will be. Like I posted a set, Mike Falzone Surrounded show.
Mm-hmm.
Love doing that show. It's all improvised show, and he films it. He films it with 3 nice cameras.
Whoa.
So he gives me the footage, and then we edit it, and I post it, and I posted the past 2. We'll put up some thumbnails. And like when I do those, I'm in a very specific mindset. Not one mindset, just like whatever specific mindset I'm in, that's what I'm going to do. And I normally don't post my stand-up because I don't want to, but this is improvised. This isn't my material and I don't mind. So people just see that. So people haven't seen my material unless they've seen me live. And that goes really well. Then when I post these other things, it's very divisive. Like some people like it, and then people that don't, they're so mean. They're so judgmental. They don't understand that what I'm doing. They think that this is who I am, these words that I'm saying and this character that I've embodied and this energy that I'm doing and this genre that I'm maybe satirizing. Just like energy. It's just an energy thing. And they're so mean. It feels bad.
Yeah, I know.
It feels bad. It does not make me think I did anything wrong. It does not make me think I shouldn't keep doing that.
Yeah.
I love doing that. But what I'm saying is I understand how it doesn't feel good.
Well, I mean, like I did a set on the Tonight Show in March, and the comments of people who just don't get me, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I loved my set and I loved my material. So I'm like,
So you felt okay about it?
I did, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like if you feel good about it and it's honest to you and you want to do it,
Yeah.
those comments that don't feel good don't really slow you down.
No, they don't.
But when you go up there and you're doing stuff that you resent and that you
Yeah.
don't want to do and they don't like it, now it does because you agree with them. And also sometimes they'll like it and they'll laugh. And we talked about this on the phone. That wasn't funny. Why do you like this? You know, like,
yeah. Or when they laugh like too soon, you're like, that's not the joke.
yeah. Or like you ever do a show? I was at the Laugh Factory this weekend and Brent was on stage and annihilated. Now, I think Brent is very funny. Full stop.
He's so funny.
I also noticed he's annihilating right now. Then Fahim went up and annihilated. Fahim, very, very funny.
Yeah, so funny.
I went up there and I don't even, it was my first joke. First thing I acknowledged, just destroys. And in my head, oh, this is just a good room. You know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way. I'm glad.
What was it?
A good room. I don't know, it was a good room. And everybody was very funny, so it kept the room good. But like, when I got that laugh, it didn't make me think, I'm the man.
Yeah.
It made me think, I'm glad they're laughing.
But it's like, oh,
It's a
this
good
is just
room.
an easy room.
It's a good room, not to take away from me or them, but like, then there's times where the room is shit and or just the room is shit, right? You're maybe going up at hour 2 on one of these main room shows or something.
Yeah.
And you go out there and then you start like doing really well and you're like, this one's real.
I know, that's better. I like a bad room.
I think what a bad room does is it offers more data. Like it helps you know what really works. But what a good room does is it offers you know, that fleeting confidence.
Yeah, maybe that's what I don't like that. Like I want the room to be like bad. And then it also offers me the freedom to not care.
Oh, that makes sense. So if a room is doing really well, you be like, oh, I better not drop like a
Yeah.
what's it called? A relay race.
Yeah.
Like I better grab this and yeah.
I hate that.
I think I got lucky by being bad for so long, you know, that like I don't feel that pressure anymore.
Well, that's also why maybe this conversation comes up a lot amongst us, because I do look at you as someone who was bad for a long time in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Like I want that. Like I want to go back to that. Like I want to.
It's the best. It's going playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do it and even though I'd bomb all the time, people would say like I try to make things awkward or I wanted to bomb. I always thought what I was doing was funny. I just didn't have a way to connect it.
Oh, interesting.
I always wanted to be funny.
Yeah.
And I thought I was. I thought I was funny. I just forgot to press start. I forgot to let them in on it or I wasn't good at whatever the thing was.
Yeah.
But that same thing of like why I fell in love with it was to just go up there and just like, sometimes I'm talking to people, even on this podcast, but in real life, and it's like, I want to be doing bits and like I could see them yawning or looking away or they're not interested. And I'm like, fuck. But like going on stage, it's like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm up here and I'm supposed to be too much. I'm supposed to, all he does is go up there and he does jokes and he does silly shit. It's like, that's the job.
Yeah.
You know, like what a luxury. So that's where my mindset, like, do what I want to do. Like, I want to be doing what I do on stage all the time. I want to go to a store and someone says to someone who works here, where are the towels? And I want to go, where are the towels? You know, like, I just want to like say things and be, oh, it's nice to meet you. My name's Richard. Would you like to get a cup of coffee with me? I want to see a pretty girl somewhere and go up to her and not be like, wait for her to make eye contact with me. I want to go up to her and be like, hey there, pretty lady. You want me to do some jokes for you? You know, like, I'm not going to do that. Also, the way you made that face, it snapped me into reality. That wasn't the best example. But also, there are times where like you see somebody and you want to just be like, I want to do something silly. But like, you're in the world. Don't make people uncomfortable.
I have to go.
Okay, I'll keep going. Take your magnesium. But like when you're on stage and you're given the permission to be silly, let me get a Polaroid of you. Is there anything, any baby formula you want to plug?
No.
Any shows you got coming up? Aren't you going to be in DC soon?
No, that's you.
I thought I brought that up because you said you're going to.
No,
Moshe is going to be in DC.
No, I don't know. I might add a road date before the end of the year and then tour in the new year. We'll see.
Ask me where my shows are.
I left my bar in the car.
Well, aren't you going to your car?
Yeah, but it probably got hot in the sun.
Do you want to hear about my shows?
Yeah, what?
September 28th, I will be at the DC Improv. November 6th, I will be at the Addison Dallas Improv. November 7th, the Houston Improv. November 8th, I will be in Austin, Texas for 2 shows at Creek in the Cave. And Seattle, we reschedule those shows. November 15th and 16th, I will be at Laughs Comedy Club in Seattle. If you want to come, the link is in the description or go to punchup.live/Rick Glassman.
I have a podcast. It's called Trash Tuesday. It's me and Kalila. She's very pretty. And we always have really funny guests. Yeah. Rick was on recently. And
comes out this week, right?
Yeah.
So I was on a couple weeks ago. Anything else?
No, that's
Anything you learned for new moms?
Oh, you guys, new moms, we're in it. And it's beautiful. And people get annoyed when you talk about it too much. It's probably like how you feel with your love of Alvin. What?
Oh, you're not used to people listening to you?
No, it's the most amazing thing being a new mom.
Do you
it's insane.
Have any advice? Like how you went from a bratty, selfish girl to now being a mom that has to love something else. How did you make that change, or have you not?
It just happens. It truly just happens. And it's good. But that's it. Hopefully I'll be able to do both and have it all, like all moms are trying to.
How do you think the show's going to go tonight?
Oh,
I want to cut to a clip of it, you know?
I don't know. How did your set go on Saturday?
I had a show Friday, Saturday. I'm telling you something. I know I've been saying, and I said this to you on the phone before. Good shows and bad shows have the same thing in common. The feeling doesn't last. It's just a show. But I'll say, I've been feeling so good. I've been feeling so good.
I had one where I felt so good. So that's keeping me hanging in the game.
That's how that used to be. For me, it used to be like, I would have a good set, and then they would be really, like 1 in 10 would be good. And like the other ones would be like, okay, it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Come on, how sweet is he?
I love you. I love you. I love you. That's what I say to my baby. Mommy.
Oh, you should have brought donuts.
Oh, donut.
Yeah.
Oh,
or did you leave it in the car as well?
Donut? No, she's at home. You should come over because they can run in the yard.
Yeah.
And
it's fenced in, like off the leash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you should have brought donut. I should be telling people now when they have a dog to bring their dog.
You're so sweet.
Doesn't he smell good too?
I love doggy smell. I really like you a lot. I like you a lot. Oh, I would take you home. I would.
Do you want to look into camera? Maybe this could be one of the thumbnails. Alvin, look at the camera. Here, hold on. Look at camera. Alvin. Perfect. All right, let me get the Polaroid.
You are so sweet.
One.
Wait, let me like get ready emotionally.
Okay.
Just like in my face. Okay, come back.
Okay.
So close.
I'm doing it right. I'm gonna make you laugh. Esther! Good. It's gonna shine through. I'm gonna do sign on the purple.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah!